Here I'm reading parts of a few articles from this 1931 Der Sturmer. And I'm going to read on the right first what my notes, and then I'll go through the few articles. But note a few things here in this one small portion of an article. Number one, a pastor is opposing the NSDAP. He was a subversive, and these types were what the National Socialist Party was looking to root out, right? It was not an attack on the church. Number two, note that they state the Hakenkreuz, translated to the Dacian cross, which is the same thing, and the Christian cross are two symbols that are together. They are not opposed to each other. And number three, note they mention their goal is to defeat Bolshevism. Bolshevism was trying to take over the world, not the NSDAP. And Bolshevism was godless. The NSDAP was with God. So on the left there, I'll have there's the English and the German, and I don't know if I have the German originals of the other articles, but anyway. And they were shocked by the degradation expressed in Pastor Manlein's behavior towards the National Socialists. But neither they nor Pastor Loeffler turned away from National Socialism. Even more joyfully than usual, they professed their allegiance to this movement, which is the only one called upon to one day defeat Bolshevism, right? That was their goal. Just as the Dacian cross, the Hakenkreuz, can be seen carved next to the Christian cross on the stones of their fortress, so too does the bevy, I don't know if that's the right word, bevy population of Kronach enthusiastically profess these two symbols. In worldly matters, they profess the German symbol of war, the Hakenkreuz. In religious matters, however, they look to the cross of Christianity. They know that under these two symbols, Germany will win victory against baseness and darkness. So here's an article talking about small business being attacked by the big Jewish stores. And does this not sound familiar in America in 2025 or in America in the last 40 years? So it says the God forgotten, the wives of small business owners shop in the Jewish department store. The small German businessman fights for his life. The Jew sees him as a bloodsucker on his wheel and threatens to ride him to death. In such mortal distress, one grabs at every dagger that can be thrown at him. Through a Reich advertising week with the warning, quote, support small business. We've heard that before. Those evil, evil Nazis said support small business. One tries to awaken those who still have compassion in their bodies. Whoever loves their people and wants them to become healthy and happy again hears the cries of help from the drowning man and acts accordingly. They avoid the department store and the convenience store and hate the impudence and mass trash of the one-price palaces. Anyone who still has feeling in their body can still count themselves among the decent part of the German people and should not buy from the Jew. The National Socialists' incessant educational work has led to the fact that today, for thousands upon thousands, it is a commandment of their German convictions to keep the small German businessman alive. It has become a matter of course for them to no longer enter the Jewish department store. One would think that the fanatical Jew hater would be precisely the small businessman who, with the SOS calls, of the Reichskraft Experts Week, is trying to prevent or postpone his downfall. Far from it, especially in the small business, struggling with death. There are people who are upset that they are doing badly, and the big ones are doing well, but who are not ashamed to shop with Jews themselves. They are not ashamed to walk right past the shop door and into the Jewish house. It is especially the wives of such small business owners who engage in such lack of conviction, often without their husband's knowledge. Many a German small shopkeepers, many a tailors and carpenters' wives, etc., can be seen doing their shopping almost weekly in Nuremberg department stores. Cases have come to light where the wives of small business owners even bought groceries in the department store. Such godless creatures don't seem to realize that their actions are disgraceful. They don't deserve to be given even a moment's thought to preserve their livelihood. The battle cry of National Socialism, save German small businesses from ruin, doesn't apply to those godless people. It applies to small business as such, and thus to the terminally ill German population. So, just interesting considering that that's been happening in our country for, I mean, seriously, at least 40 years or longer. And that again, Stryker was Christian, and he was, outing people that obviously associated with the godless Jews. So, and here is an English and German, the English translation, the German original of an article titled "How They Hate Us," and it's going to go through a whole bunch of attacks by Antifa. That sounds familiar, right? Against the German people. So it says in Dagen, Westphalia, during a national socialist parade, Hitler's men were ambushed by communists. The communists fired 12 shots into the procession. Policeman Emil Wagner was stabbed. 10 innocent people were wounded in the stomach and head. At a ZA meeting, 4 SA men were stabbed by red criminals. In Runchen, it says SA men, locksmith Michael Hoffman was beaten down in the street. He suffered life-threatening injuries. In Karlsruhe, it says during a propaganda tour by the National Socialist Motorcycle Squadron, 26-year-old Buschroeder Billet was pulled from his motorcycle by communist murderers and then beaten to death. So there you have a bunch of Jew murderers murdering a German. It says Berlin, the 31-year-old SA member Juan Friedrich had his throat slit by communists. So, yep. Another one in Berlin is communists beat a 17-year-old Hitler youth to death. When the perpetrators were confronted by the police about the obscenity, they, I think, spit in their faces. So hopefully those communists got executed. In Königsberg, says the SA member Franz Zickers was attacked in his own apartment by communist murderers and brutally slaughtered. So another murder. Another one in Königsberg. It says at the funeral of the murdered, of the guy above who was murdered, there were clashes with the police when the National Socialist Reichstag representative Araus tried to intervene to calm the situation. He was severely injured by a bayonet stab by the police. I don't know, but that's crazy. And then in Frankfurt, it says for the second time this month, Frankfurt police president Steinberg, right, Steinberg the Jew probably, has banned our huge rally in the 25,000 seat fest hall. The speakers scheduled were Reichstag Representative Trebel, General Lippmann, and Prince August Wilhelm of Prussia. So you can see there were some important people there involved in the movement in Frankfurt. So I think that was all I had. So.